All right, I got a good question for you guys. Jamie had sent in a question. How do I build a basic Infusionsoft opportunity sales pipeline? And that's a good question, Jamie. The key word opportunity, right? Sales pipeline. There's not a lot of good trainings out there or free recordings. So what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to recreate the wheel, but I gave a webinar right after Icon 17, and it's on building a sales pipeline with opportunities. All right. Now, surely not everybody should build a sales pipeline based opportunity. A lot of people can go tag based if they'd like to, and I even recommend that in a lot of cases. But in this recording of my webinar, we go through the building of an opportunity based sales pipeline, right? From the beginning of setting up a lot of the defaults in your stages all the way to the end of setting up a dashboard. I believe I put that in bonus at the very end of the recording. So I hope you like the recording. Give some comments if you want. I'll do some more question answering on opportunities because it looks like we got a lot of them. All right, enjoy. Setting up sales pipeline. For those who don't know what a sales pipeline is, breaking it down to its bare bones, you have leads coming in from different types of sources, right? So people calling into the office, they're coming from the website, filling out web forms. You have people attending seminars. You need to find a way to get these people or these leads to your sales reps and then put them into a sales pipeline so you can track what stage they're in. Right. Now, I'm assuming most of you know what your stages are here. I gave a little rough example of a financial advising company. They have a new lead stage. Those are people who come into the stage for the first time. They're going to attend a seminar. They're going to schedule an appointment with one of their sales reps, and then there's an application process which leads to either you win them, so you sold, or you lost them, which is you didn't sell them. All right. So basically all we're doing here is we're taking these leads as they come in, and there's a function inside of Infusionsoft that lets you round robin them, equally distributing them to your sales reps. That's why no one's overbooked. Or if you wanted to, you could give more leads to one than the other. All right. And then you use Infusionsoft to manage these leads. Pretty simple, right? And among that, we are a database CRM company, so you keep notes, documentations on these leads as they're going through the stages. You have next action dates, so you know what you have to do next. Automation responder, you can have emails go out automatically if they get into the application process, or reminders. All right, so that's all basic functionality inside of Infusionsoft. So that's what a sales pipeline is. All right, so let's start up at the very beginning, setting up our default stages, and we're just going to go down this list as we build our sales pipeline. This is inside of Infusionsoft. You can see the top left-hand corner. By the way, I am going to be giving you these slides. They will be sent to you at the very end of this, so if you wait to the very end, the last slide, you're going to see that there's an option to actually have this sent to you. All right, so you can use this step by step to go through building your own. Left hand corner, you go to CRM. Sales pipeline has to do with your CRM. And you go to settings, and that will take you to a screen where you can select the sales pipeline area. Right. Here on the right hand side, you can see you can put in your stages. So first you have to identify your stages, and that would take too long, and there's no way for me to know exactly what your stages are going to be. So I'm going to assume that you already have your stages and your sales pipeline set up. When you are ready, you can come to this screen and you can start typing in your stages. You can see the top is actually related to the bottom, right? And so what I'm going to do is I put in all of my stages from the top, and it puts it down below. Okay, so stage 1, new lead stage, I added it, and it comes below. The first piece is your order. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to last. That is going to be the order of your stages. Right? So simply you just have to make sure you put the right order, or where the stage goes in the order. The second, target number of days. This has to do with how many days on average do you expect it to take your sales rep to take it from stage 1 to the next stage, stage 2. All right. If it's they need to move that the same day, then you should put 0 days, because as soon as a new lead comes in, you want them to do it that day. You should put 0 days there. Okay. On the opportunity record, this is what it will look like, where they're managing the actual lead. You can see right next to the stage 1 new lead stage, there's a move by 2/15/2016. So it also helps the person, as they're looking at it, to know when they need to move that person. Okay, and the very last one is probability. Not a lot of people use this because not everybody uses our e-commerce inside of Infusionsoft to make payments or charge their customers. But if you do, the probability is if you know what the odds are of getting them to this stage from closing to an actual won, the probability of coming from a stage 1 to a won stage, then you can put it in there, and it's basically just putting in the percentages. And if you do know that, and actually I don't have the report on here, but there's a report for sales pipeline that if you put in probability, it can show you a forecasting of how much money you will make with based upon your probabilities, right, for each stage. So it's forecasting how much money you're going to actually close by the end of the month. Okay, so let's go on to the next portion. So that's the setup of your stages. We have some opportunities default set up now. Okay, so you can see instead of going sales pipeline, we have opportunity defaults on the left hand side. First portion, active sales stages. Okay, this is important because you highlight the active sales stages, and there's an option to keep the system from creating duplicate opportunities. Some people like duplicate opportunities. They'll have people purchasing multiple products, and so multiple opportunities will be out there. But if you're not like that, and you do not want duplicates in the system, there should only be one opportunity at a time, then you're going to want to make sure you highlight the stages that an opportunity can be in, so that when another opportunity is created, it says, hey, you already have somebody in the sales pipeline. Right? We can't create a duplicate. They're in an active stage. Down below here, you can see if no assigned stages, it defaults to this stage. Right? So when an opportunity is created, if they forgot to select the stage, it's going to default to stage 1 new lead stage in this case. But you can make it to stage 2 or 3. Going a little far below, win and loss stages. There's a couple of different options you can have. One, you have to select which stage is your win or loss stage, right? So all I'm doing here is I'm just selecting won stage for my win stage, and for my loss stage, my loss stage. And then below that, you can see there's a win and a loss reason. So when a person on the opportunity record selects the win or the loss stage, they need to select a reason for why. And it doesn't have to be required. I mean, if you don't want to give them a required, it doesn't have to be. But right below it, you can see there's a require win reason, yes or no. And you're going to just want to select that to be a yes. And below the loss, I know it kind of cuts off, but there's also an option to do yes or no for required. Great. All right, put in a won and loss stage slide. This is on the opportunity record, so you can actually just see what will pop up if you select won stage. And you can see I selected don't know, but he bought it. That was an option. All right, so moving back. All right, so our defaults are set up. Perfect. All right, we got the creepy little gopher, I think that is. I'm saying excellent. So setup campaign builder automation part 1. Okay, so the campaign builder is a little more complicated. I need to give you a little more background of how opportunities and contact records work inside of Infusionsoft. So the difference between a contact record and an opportunity record. Let's say somebody calls into the office and you're putting their information into the system, right, through a web form of some sort into our CRM, Infusionsoft. You're creating a contact record. As soon as a contact record is created, you're going to want to create an opportunity record. And then that opportunity record is what you're going to use to manage it inside of your sales pipeline process. That's how it works. And remember, a contact record can have multiple opportunity records. An opportunity record can't have multiple contact records because opportunities are always connected to one contact record. And that might sound a little complicated, so let me use kind of an example here between an opportunity and a contact record. On a contact record, you're going to see there's a lot more information on it. Tons of information: job title, person type, lead source, phone number 2, emails, Twitter, website. It's got everything, right? And even on the top, you have addresses, person notes, custom fields. These are just tons of information. So that's the highest level of information. That's a contact record. For an opportunity record, it's a little more simple. You have a next follow-up action. This is where you're managing that leader, that opportunity, until the won and lost stage. Right? You have what you're going to do next, the date of it. You have the stage that it's currently in. But on the right-hand side, you can also see that you have opportunity summary. and that's where the contact record lives. All right, so it tells you where the opportunity record is connected to at all times. I could always go back to Mickey Mouse's contact record if I wanted by clicking there, but you don't always need all that information as you're putting them through the sales pipeline. And so the opportunity record is more simple and just helping you manage them through the sales pipeline process. Reference can be the contact record. Okay. All right. So now let's jump into the campaign builder. We've done a lot of the preface information and the platform building. Alright, so instead of going to our CRM, we're going to jump over to marketing, the campaign builder. This is probably undoubtedly the most complicated part inside of Infusionsoft. So pay attention carefully, and you can always go back through and look at these slides. So don't worry about writing anything down. This is what our sales pipeline campaign is going to look like. Alright, so we're going to cut it up. Part 1, 2, and 3. Capture leads being the first part, create opportunities and stage creation automation in the very end. Start from the very beginning. Inside the campaign builder, remember, you should know the basics of campaign builder right now. And if you don't, you got to go back and you got to watch some of the videos, because this is going to go pretty quickly. And sales pipeline in itself, even the basics of sales pipeline, are more advanced campaign builder pieces, right? So I would go back and go and watch the basics of campaign builder if you have not yet. All right, but I am going to go over a lot of the pieces, but just briefly. Okay, bottom left hand corner, remember, that's how you know what the goal does. The first goal we have up is an internal form, right? And that's what the internal form looks like. This internal form is for when people call in the office, right? So requesting consults or appointments. This is a secretary answering the phone, putting in their information, assigning it a stage, and knowing that this person's already attended a seminar, or knowing that they need an appointment scheduled and scheduling that appointment right there on the site, and then assigning it an owner. Right, so assigning an owner to one of the Kashawagis or Ross Walker. All right, the next being a web form. People coming in from the website, and they actually have two different websites, so I just popped them up at the same time. One's a newsletter, and the other one is a free investment calculator, Leadership Society of Arizona. Alright, so people filling in their information for something, right? They either want to be on the newsletter, or they want to be on, they want this calculator to calculate their retirement fund. So putting in information. And the last one being, they're attending seminars. There's no real way when they attend a seminar to just automatically get them inside the system. And so what this is a tag. This is a tag that they import the people or the list, Excel sheet of the list of people at that seminar, and then they place the tag on all those records, pulling them into this campaign. Okay, so those are three different ways people can come into your campaign. Don't worry, that's all fake information right there. Feel free to use it if you want, but it's not going anywhere. Okay, so that's the capture leads completed. We have the thumbs up from Chimpo the chimpanzee. Let's jump into part 2. Create opportunities. It gets a little complicated here. I try to simplify it. Let's release the bar. Okay, so recap. Internal form, people calling into the office. We have stages that they're being assigned to. We want to make sure that based upon the stage that we're assigning them to, the opportunity is created now and then placed into your stage, right? The correct stage. You would think that would just be done automatically, but not. You can see over here on the right hand side we have 4 sequences, and I opened them up. All right, all those are the open sequences. That's what's inside of it. Pretty simple. There's the element or the piece called create opportunity, and it's placing it into a different stage. All right, so the simplicity around this is the only thing I'm changing between all these sequences is the starting stage. Okay, it's only the starting stage, and the reason for that is based upon, remember that radio button over here, the stage assign on that internal form. I'm going to have to put them into a different stage. So for that first sequence, I have stage 1, new lead stage. For that second one, I'm going to have stage 2, attend seminar. For the third one, I'm just going to have the stage 3. And so you kind of get the idea here. They're basically the same sequence, except you're assigning them to a different stage in each one. And then we have this little decision diamond or decision node, we call it inside of Infusionsoft, where they need to go, right? Because in the internal form, they're selecting a radio button going to 1, 2, 3, or 4. But right after they fill out that internal form, right there in that decision node, we need to say, well, which sequence are they going to? And that's where we have to set it up. Okay, remember, radio button is what is selecting which stage. So if you click on that decision node, that little guy, it's going to pop up this screen. There's a rule, right? And if you look at the very top, it says rules for stage 1, new lead, create opportunity. We need to create a rule for it to go there if they select that radio button for stage 1. All right, so if and we're going to select this form submission right here. And the option, because remember, there's 4 different options. It can be, we're going to say stage 1, new lead nurturing is selected. Okay, and then I just put them all in. I just put them all in past that point. But you would have to do a rule for each one. The only thing that's changing, remember, is the stage. And so based off of that form submission, it will now send it to the sequence of the stage you selected in that radio button. All right, and the last 3 are similar too. You're going to find there's a lot of copying. And so it's not going to be too difficult. You have 3 different sequences here. They look the same. All you're doing is you're sending them an email. It could be for the importing, for the events, you're sending an event follow-up. Hey, you know what? Hey, it's been great. Thanks for coming to the event. That type of follow-up. For the investment calculator or the newsletter, welcome to newsletter, send them investment calculator link. And then we're adding a tag inside of there. And all the tag is for is so that we know they came from the newsletter or the investment calculator or the follow-up event. Okay? So you just want to make sure in the database you can always pull up, hey, did they come through the newsletter? Oh, 50 people came through the newsletter. 10 people came through investment calculator, and there was 30 people from the follow-up event. That's what the tag is. The last piece is that create opportunity piece that we had in our other sequences. Right, so here's our tag, newsletter. We created that ourselves. And then here is our opportunity stage. This will be a little different in a couple ways now. True, we need to select an assigned user. So we need to make sure we are setting it to either a round robin, which means it's going to a different person every time, or you can create your own round robin for who it's going to. And then you have next action notes. So this is a newsletter opt-in. So when the lead is assigned to one of your sales reps, they know, oh, this is a newsletter opt-in, and it's a new lead because it's in starting 1 stage. Sign up from the website calculator. It's going to be the same thing. Got the tag, and you got the opportunity creator. Okay. We're changing the calculator opt-ins here. So that's the only thing different from that last one we just did. And the very last one, event follow-up, creating the opportunity here right after. And this one will have 2 different things changed because it's not going to be starting in stage 1. It's going to be starting in stage 2 because they attended the seminar. They've already finished that piece because you're importing them. And then event follow-up imported. That way your sales rep knows, wow, this is somebody who already attended the seminar, the event, and I can talk to them as if we need to get them scheduled now. That was really quick, guys. You might have to go through that one more time, but luckily you can always go back in the recording and watch it again if needs be. Mighty Mouse says yes. Alright, so part 3, the last part of the campaign builder section. This looks very complicated, but all we're doing is copying and pasting here. A lot of copying and pasting with these sequences. Bottom left hand corner, it is a yellow icon, and that is the opportunity icon. And I'm gonna go into a little more depth about this. They all look the same, so I'm just gonna pull the top one off and go through this step by step. Stage 1, new lead stage in, and then there's a stage 2 at the very end that says out. That's the only difference between those 2 goals, the first one and that last one there. And you can see when I'm setting this up and I'm clicking on it, I just select stage 1, new lead, and I select the into, moving into. inside of that nurture sequence, you might have some emails that are going towards them. As soon as they get into the new lead, you want to start nurturing them and giving them some information for the seminar, which is your stage 2. So we have delay timers with emails going out. That second goal being a new lead stage out. Okay. The only difference is we're just selecting the out of in that when moving. Now I'm going to show you how this works, because this into and out of thing can sometimes be a little complicated. When it says in, it means a person is actually changing on the opportunity record, or the opportunity is being created and then being put into the stage 1. It will immediately take that opportunity and put them into the nurture to seminar sequence. Now the only way to pull them out of that nurture to seminar sequence is if they go to a different stage. So the opportunity at one point is looked at by the sales rep. They talk to them on the phone. They're like, hey, you know what? I will attend a seminar. And so they move them to stage 2. As soon as they move that opportunity to a different stage, no matter where they are, let's say they're at the second delay timer ready to receive the second email, they move them to stage 2, and it will trigger that last goal, the out of goal, because it senses that that opportunity is moving into a different stage. It needs to pull them out of this stage. Okay, so the system, if you set it up like this, automatically says if at any time they move to a different stage, they're moving out of the stage 1, we want to pull them out of the automation. And that's what's happening here. Alright, pound it. Dog pound. Take it to the dog pound, guys. Because we finished all the pieces. Now I'm going to take this thing for a test drive. Alright? And we got this panda bear going crazy on this go-kart. We're going to take this for a test drive. And I'm going to show you how this would work real time now. Okay, so let's say somebody comes through our newsletter on the site. They fill out their information. They're put into that sequence immediately. In that sequence, they're going to, 1, receive an email. So they're going to be start. This is that sequence. They're going to receive the email. They're going to get the tag on their record. And they're going to get the create opportunity, which, remember, down here, we have selected it to go to stage 1 and round robin it. So it will go to one of our sales reps. Based upon the amount of opportunities they've received, it will go to one of the sales reps. Alright, so now it's in stage 1, because that's where we assigned it. From stage 1, it will now go into the sequence of nurture to the seminar, and that's our sequence right there. We have delay timers with emails. They're waiting on the 4-day, and let's say time goes on. So they actually receive the Nurture to 10 seminar. They're waiting to receive email 2 when the sales rep, okay, this is Mickey Mouse, this is the opportunity right here. The sales rep is looking at the opportunity, it sees it's a newsletter opt-in, and it calls them up. And this person is somebody who is a hot lead. And they need to schedule an appointment ASAP because they want to open a new Insurance Universal Life. Right, and they also want an IRA. So they have a ton of things they want to open up. Let's just schedule an appointment. So they switch it to stage 3 here. Okay, they go from stage 1 all the way to stage 3. And then they change the next follow-up action. Right? It's a newsletter opt-in, but they're going to change that. And I'm going to show you that after here. Then it's going to pull them out of stage 1. And you can see down there, we have another guy on stage 3 already. That is because he moved him to stage 3, and it's pulling them out of stage 1. Right, so that's what that out of is doing. As soon as it moves to another stage, like stage 3, it automatically pulls them out of the system, out of stage 1. Okay, and then they move into stage 3's automation, where stage 3 has its own nurtures. Nurture financial information. It's just giving them financial information now, up until they finish their appointment. And remember, let's wait a couple days, because usually people don't. They have to have the appointment first. Right, so let's say they get to our second email here, and then Mickey Mouse comes in for an appointment. They end up signing the paperwork. Like, you know what, I wanna sign off on this. I want to buy some of your IRAs. I want you to open those up for me, and a couple other things, their life insurance policy, and they switch them to the won stage. You can see it's call up to close contract now. Okay. So as soon as they move from won stage, we're going to pull them out of the automation in stage 3. We're not going to pull, remember this is automatic. As soon as they move to won stage, it's just going to pull them out. And down there in the won stage, you can see we have him move into the send survey. Alright, so this is all automation. This is all just working. The only thing the sales rep is doing is they're on the opportunity record moving the stages, and this is automatically putting their opportunity in the right place in the campaign builder. Okay, and there really was only one piece back here, and it's the send the survey. So they're going to get the survey sent to them. How did we do? Was that a pretty seamless process? How satisfied are you? Would you refer a friend? That type of thing. Alright, so we went through everything from setting it up to the campaign builder build to the test drive so you could actually see it work. This is kind of the bonus material, so if you want to head off now, you can head off. I hit most of the basics here, but I'm going to put in a little more for you, and it's the next action dates, setting up a dashboard, and save searches. I find a lot of people have problems with this. This is something I wanted to touch on, but we're at our 30-minute mark, so if you want to head off, you can. But I'm going to keep going through it. Alright, so for you who want to keep staying on, we're going to go through the bonus material. This is a dashboard of Infusionsoft. This is what your sales reps are going to be looking at here. There are two pieces to it. They're necessary for anyone who's using opportunities. There's a next action date search. It's a widget, and you also have a pipeline widget. The next action date widget, you can see here on the left-hand side, there's next action dates 1/27/2015, 11/15 for Mickey Mouse. Then you have a Minnie Mouse right there. This isn't practical for looking at all the information of your opportunities or the next action dates. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that view all results that I highlighted below right here. And it will open up a dashboard for all of the people who have something scheduled that you need to do for them. You can see 2/11/2015 is at the very top. That is something that should have been done a while back, right? A long time back. Mickey Mouse, and he's in stage 1 still. And the next action notes is called 3 times, going to give him one more try, call him back in the afternoon. Right? So it sounds like someone's been trying to contact this person for a very long time. Called him 3 times at least. Right? It's got information and notes. This is helpful and a healthy way to look at your sales pipeline, because what it's doing is it's chronologically ordering what things you have to do. Technically, if today was 5/30, was 2015, you would want to see all of the things that you have to do, or the things that are late due at the very top. Those are priority. You have to get those things done before you can start working on today's stuff. If you were working on things and you were up to date, everything should be today's date or further on, so you can see what you have to do in the future and the things you have to do today. But it's easy to order that. The opportunities, this is where you actually click and it opens up the opportunity. And over here, next action notes. And I suppose it's helpful, but you can also see there's a stage column, and I don't have it red highlighted, but the stage column helps you know where they are in the sales pipeline. Let's say Mickey Mouse, we want to manage that contact or that opportunity record. So I'm going to click on Mickey Mouse right here. This is his opportunity record. Not a lot of information on it, but the information needed. Next follow-up action. This is key for whenever a sales rep touches an opportunity record. Whenever he goes into it and he makes a call, whenever he talks to this person, he needs to fill out the next follow-up action date. If you do not fill up the next follow-up action date, it's almost like saying, if I get to them, I'll get to them. But you don't have a date on it, so you don't know when it's due. So if I call them up today, I might want to put, okay, well, let me call them up in 4 days or 3 days, and I would have to change that next action date. And so this add a note about your last action. If you click on that, it opens the screen up, it widens it, and it asks you, what did you do for your last follow-up action? And then it also gives you the opportunity to change what the next follow-up action is going to be. You need to change the next follow-up action whenever you report on what you did. Okay, so I just filled this all out really quick. I had a great conversation this afternoon, but I selected, yes, I do want to change what my next follow-up action is, and it's call in 2 weeks to make sure he paid his invoice and set up an appointment. Okay, and then below you can see there's a calendar, so you can select when that date is you're going to follow up with him next time. Need to fill out a next follow-up action date. This is how leads do not fall through the cracks. Always having a next follow-up action. Along with that, when you fill out the next follow-up action, you can see below there is a note section below the opportunity. I didn't actually show you, but if you scroll right below the opportunity, it's going to have these notes. Date stamped, what user did it, and the description of what happened. So it's giving us called 3 times, going to give him one more try, and we signed the bill contract. Let's get project manager signed. So it's actually putting in that information, that what the follow-up action was and what you did. You have a documentation of everything that ever happens to your opportunity. You open him up in another week, you can see all the documentation for what you've done really quick at a glance with dates and users connected. Alright, so that's a CRM database right there, keeping all your information in one place as you're managing that record. If you click in, it will show you the details of that note. That's all I'm showing you right now. If you click on it, it opens it up. Alright, so that's the next action date search, and this is the pipeline widget here on the right hand side. The pipeline widget's not for managing the opportunities on a day-to-day basis, but giving you kind of a summary or overall view of your pipeline. Right, you can see stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. If I would click on that stage 1, number 3, it would open up this dashboard. And this looks familiar. It looks like our next action date. But on this one, it is only giving you the stage 1 people. Right, so it's not giving you an overall look of all of your opportunities and their next action dates. But this does give you the look of how many people are in that stage with the next action dates. But remember, you probably want to see all of your opportunities and then order the next action dates. Okay? So this is a good look. I mean, it's got the same things, next action notes with the next action dates. But remember, pipeline stages widget, it's just there to see where all of your opportunities are at a glance overall. And next action date should be used on a day-to-day basis for managing all your opportunities in Infusionsoft. To set up. Alright, so let's go to the pipeline stages. You have this settings area. You can actually select who you want to see. So right now I have selected all users. It is looking at every sales rep and how many opportunities are in each stage. If you wanted to, though, you could just look at your own. Abraham's or Isaac's or Ross Walker's. If you want, you don't have to have it where sales reps can see other sales reps stages. There are permissions to take that off. And if you don't want, you don't have to see all the stages. Let's say you don't care about attend seminars, so you can take that out if you want. These people would care, but if you had a stage that you didn't need to see, you could always uncheck it. If you have any more questions, you can always reach out to our tech support, which is on help.infusionsoft.com, where we have a 24/7 support line that you can call in, or you can always chat into. Great, thank you guys. I appreciate it.